Today I'm going to show you how to make these simple, strong, affordable shelves for your shop, garage, basement, or wherever. Let's get started. Start by cutting off your pieces. It'll be easier, faster, and more accurate to get this all done at once. To do that, you need to figure out your shelf spacing and sizes. We're using a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch MDF. Plywood would work just as well. Ripping a sheet in half makes 2 shelves with 0 waste. The structure is made from 2x3 by 8 foot lumber. 2x4s would work as well, of course, but I got a deal on a truckload of 2x3s. Each shelf is really just a pony wall set horizontally, with top plates, bottom plates, and studs. In our case, we're using the full 8 foot length of the 2x3 for the top and bottom plates, trimmed to length. Our MDF width is 24.5 inches, as a whole sheet comes in 97 by 49 inches. So that means our studs are 24.5 inches minus the 3 inches for the 2x3 thickness, which equals 21.5 inches. We put 5 of those 21.5 inch studs on each shelf, 1 on each end and 3 spaced evenly on the inside. So each shelf now has 2 8 foot 2x3s and 5 21.5 inch 2x3s. Multiply those by the number of shelves you are making, which will depend on your shelf spacing. Each corner will have an 8 foot 2x3 as well, so cut 4 of those per unit you are building. Then we need 4 vertical supports under each shelf you add for extra strength. These will be the height of your spacing between shelves. Might as well rip those MDF sheets in half while you're making dust. Remember to account for the blade curve, that's the thickness of the blade, when setting your table saw to the center of the MDF sheet. With all pieces cut, we can assemble the unit. Assembly lines are boring, but make things go faster, so build each shelf frame first. That's the pony wall. For the bottom 2 or 3 shelves, go ahead and screw on the MDF or plywood tops with some 1.5 inch deck screws. Countersinking your pre-drilled holes is a good idea. For the higher shelves, just leave them as bare 2x3 frames for now. You're just making rectangles, which should be easy. Some 3 inch deck screws and pre-drilling makes it simple. Next, we'll get our 8 foot vertical 2x3s and our vertical supports for the first shelf. Screw the short vertical supports to the 8 foot 2x3. Make them flush on the bottom. These will hold the bottom shelf. Do this to all 4 of your 8 foot vertical supports. If you're using leveling feet like we did, now is a great time to install those. Now we need to install the first shelf. Lay 2 of your 8 foot 2x3s on the ground, parallel to each other with the short vertical supports facing up. Sit the bottom shelf on its side on the vertical support and put some deck screws in it. Now put the next set of 8 foot vertical supports on the other side and screw them into place. Now is a good time to tip the unit upright. If you go too far, it'll become quite heavy and hard to lift it back up. Install the next 4 short vertical supports to the 8 foot vertical supports, and then install the second shelf just like you did with the first. Repeat this process with the remaining shelves. As you get higher up, things get harder to lift, and this is why you left the MDF top off the higher up shelves. Install the frame, screw it in, then install the MDF top and screw it in. I would suggest moving the unit to its final resting place after 2 or 3 shelves are installed, as moving it later might be tough. If you have a router, a 1/8 inch roundover bit is a good option on the MDF so it's not so sharp. Sandpaper can take that edge off at any point as well. Securing it to your walls is another good idea to reduce any tipping hazards. So there you have it, a sturdy shelving unit that can hold a lot. And if it isn't strong enough, you can add 2 middle vertical supports during or after the build as needed. You could paint it, poly it, whatever you want, but why bother? It's meant to be cheap, sturdy, and functional, and really doesn't need anything more. Hopefully this gives you some easy DIY storage ideas for your shop, basement, garage, or anywhere. And this is the part where I ask you to like and subscribe. Do it if you want, skip it if you don't.